So hello, in here right now we'll be talking about how we can improve our asynchronous flow more with async await. So if we did remember, we used async await with this, and we can actually retest this and see if everything is working like as usual. So when I run my test here, and everything passed just as the way when we were using normal promises or normal callbacks. So as you see here, our app here, our sign in here currently makes use of plain callbacks, and if we notice that if we have more than one asynchronous function, we'll have to put it inside the other function that was called previously. So it's gonna go first, find a user, and then get this user, do some error checking and another error checking for password, and then next is that our create, fire another asynchronous function here, create, and then this create will come in here and fire a function, another callback here when it's done, and it will do another error handling for a 401 error handling. So we can actually simplify this with async await. So to simplify this, we will need to just return back this found user and assign it to the value of the resolved promise, and also same thing with the create too. So we'll go ahead and do this. So first thing I would like to do is I would like to set an async here, tell here that this is an async function, and this async function, what we can do is we'll await some promise, right? So our found user wanted returned here, so I will set a var found user is equals to and await this promise. First we await the promise, right? So now we don't need this callback, right, since we set our found user to the resolve, this one there. But in here we'll need to close up this and say exec. Exec takes an optional callback, and exec will return back a promise. So exec, if we execute this, it will be synchronous, but fire it asynchronously, and then our await, we await it. So now that we don't need a callback, we'll get rid of the callback, and also we're not doing error handling within our callback there, so there is no error handling. So all we just have is that we just have our found user synchronously led there. But then I want to put it in a try catch block. So in my try, I want to try first, right? So in my try, let's just put it like this, and I have a catch block here which will have the error. So our error handling now, it's not part of this. So if there was an error, it will fire down here. So in here I can just put this like this. Instead of putting it in there, we can bring it down to our catch block, and then we don't need this here anymore. That error handling, we can take it out of there. And remember, this is synchronous, so basically I can either return something here, res.send, and return and totally avoid it there, but maybe you might want to put it in the catch block too. So let's just leave this here right now. So this is synchronous, remember, it looks synchronous but is asynchronous. And our session.create is another asynchronous function that takes a callback. And how can we mitigate this? We can take this out from this place, this one. So we have one 404 here, so let's just have a general 404. So in here I will just have a general 404 that will return an error, and then my session did create, I can just easily await this. So in here we can await this very easily by saying, instead of created session passing found here, we can set our variable var created session is equals to this, and we'll await again the await keyword. Remember here, await. So we're dealing with multiple asynchronous functions, but they look synchronous because they are returning one value, and if there's error it will catch it. So now we can start to get rid of our async our callback. So let's get rid of this callback here, and then just set it there. Our create just directly returns our promise, so we do know that. And since we are doing error handling in the catch block, we don't need that there. And if everything goes fine, it should return back our a token. So let me just make that a little bit more beautiful. So in here it looks a bit more beautiful now. So in here now, one asynchronous function, another asynchronous function. All error handling are done synchronously. So this is an explicit error handling, not a one that fired. We can actually just fire in a simple throw a new error here, but for now we will just leave it like this because it's just part of our business logic. So we can see that our business logic now looks pretty synchronous, and if there was any error, then we will send it back. So we can retest this here, async await, by using our test. So if I come back to my here and CLS and I run my npm test here, let's see if everything works fine, if there was an error. So all of this was equivalent to what we use callbacks with, but it looks much more nicer and cleaner. And the beauty of this is that you can do as many as you want here. Also, if you want to fire something in parallel, for example, if we want to find some certain user, for example, let's say we need to find some certain user, right? Some certain users. So we can say we want to find all users. After it create a session, we wanted to find all users, we can just define var users, and then we will just say is equals to await users dot find. A dot find will just find everything within the database, and then after that it will find this, and we'll get this user within our user object here, so we can make use of this. But maybe we want to find certain users with maybe some certain IDs, right? So maybe we want to find user 1 and user 2, so we can just do that one by one and then clean it. But let's just clean this up here. It's just we're going off topic right now. So all of this looks pretty nice, right?